Really quick, just go over a couple of updates on swing trades pretty briefly here. You saw Fausto in the morning meeting. I mean, he freaking nailed this trade. I can't, we don't always talk overnight, right? We're different people, but like in the evening, I'm not texting him. He's with his family. So when I saw him do the meeting this morning at 9 o'clock, and he was in Oracle, ORCL from 174 and change, like just over 174, like right here from the after hours. That was a nice entry. That was a great trade, right? And, we're all our harshest critic. He was like, I got in late, but yeah, I guess it's true. But seeing the run after, it was a clean entry. Then obviously the gap up early this morning, right? So that's the icing on the cake. I think he got out on this too, if I'm not mistaken. I think he took his profit just earlier this morning. Maybe it was like right as the market had opened up here, beginning to pull back. You'll have to hear from him exactly tomorrow morning to give you the official update on that. I thought I heard him say he took his profit on that swing trade there from Oracle. Now myself, a couple of things here just pretty quickly. Philip Morris. If you are on our YouTube channel right now, you definitely know of this because it's one of our most recent videos that we had posted last week. News came out with FDA approving the official marketing for the ZYN nicotine pouches. Been around for like 5-6 years at this point. If you know, you know. If you don't know, don't get yourself involved. It's big tobacco turned into big nicotine, right? So trying to find new ways to ingest nicotine at a more safe, less harmful rate. These pouches you put in your mouth, they've been around for a while now. Finally got FDA approval on the marketing aspect of it. So, from last week, once I saw this news come out, right away, I was like, well, who the hell makes ZYN? I forgot. I don't know. Philip Morris does. And just go right to our YouTube channel. You'll find that video right there. I've been kind of annoying and harassing our students inside our live trading room with that video enough. So you know all about it if you're Chuck, Barbara, Keith and Thomas and all of us just here in chat. But that's what I'll tell you, though. Just a little update. So obviously, since that time, it pushed up pretty well. Basically, this resistance here, this past support level that held, it got broken through, right? Well, that became resistance yesterday, and then it pulled back a little bit today. So I'm still positive on Philip Morris. I'm going to hang on to this for a little bit longer. Looking for this to continue with higher lows over this week, next week. I didn't really have a timeline as far as how long I want to hold on to this trade. I bought it not because the news came out, but more because of where the stock was on the chart. It was right at support. It was a pretty good trade to take right there and then. Not every trade falls into your lap. But, it's just to mention, at this point now, hey, I'll be happy with any profit here at this stage. But looking for higher low, higher high. I would love to see this recover by mid to end of this week, we'll say. And we'll go from there. Now, new position I took a swing on. Actually, a couple here really quick. ONDS. I was saying this from a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. I was looking to jump back in on this trade. I think a couple of us are in on this right now. Maybe Kathleen, if I'm not mistaken. I was saying to all of us here, I was looking for, it was like 208 to 214 to try and hold as support. Maybe it was the 197 here. But basically, within this general vicinity, I wanted to see support build. Took a few days for it to shake around. I was getting a little worried from yesterday, but had a good move back up, and we're pushing back on up for the drone stock, ONDS. So back in on that. It was one that I did from like a month back prior. And then IREN, I jumped back in on this yesterday. Some news came out with, I'll just say a firm basically labeled IREN, Bitcoin mining stock, as one of the top plays for digital asset stocks under Trump 2.0. So I felt like that was a very strong headline. That doesn't make me just jump into the trade. Again, I'm looking at more of where the stock is trading in accordance to daily chart levels, support resistance. So if anything, the more that this can build support around like even here, we're looking pretty good. And it has been doing that so far. So with that news report that came out yesterday, I am really looking for a better push on this. Today, tomorrow, Friday. If I don't get what I'm looking for, I'll just get out. And I'm up like 31 cents a share right now on that. We'll see where that takes us. A trade that I like a lot more as a seasonal play. If you've been inside our live trading room, maybe you saw me mention this. If not, I haven't been as assertive with calling this out as opposed to others. So TKO, like knockout, technical knockout right there, right? TKO Group Holdings. Let me ask, probably going to get maybe a 50-50, maybe even less. Anyone here from back in the day or when you were growing up or maybe even just from a couple years back, anyone here a fan of professional wrestling, WWF, WWE, all that good stuff? Or maybe even you follow like boxing or UFC, the fighting nowadays, the MMA. Got a couple of us, right? So TKO is the like wrestling and UFC conglomerate company. Personally, I'm a big fan of like combat sports. I've known of TKO merger for a little while. WWE is always a seasonal play this time of the year. They have their big event, WrestleMania, it's called, I think in March or April time. And if you look on the daily chart, or shit, let's just use like a weekly chart here, make it even easier. Go back to like 2017. Watch this here. So from January of 17, it pumped up going into end of February, into end of March, and then it rocketed up after that. But that was a nice seasonal trade. I could probably go every single year from this point forward, even after COVID in 2020, beginning of 2021, ended up starting to rev up, built support, shot up higher. I mean, obviously, it's easy to say that it generally moved up over time. But from January to March is a seasonal play on TKO now, it's called WWE, UFC. Chuck saying TKO is good actors. If you're talking about the wrestlers, of course. If you're talking about the people behind the board, they got some interesting people on the board, right? Ari Emanuel, I think Dana White perhaps there too. Not Vince McMahon. Not Vince McMahon anymore, that's for sure. But, just to say, I jumped into this yesterday. I am looking for a higher high. I'm looking for a break over 150, new all-time high on this over time, going into March. We'll say either beginning of March, end of March, probably leaning towards the end part of that, like end of March, maybe even early April. I'm going to take it, though, day by day, week by week. I mean, if there's news that comes out or if there's lower highs, lower low, got to make sure you get out, ahead of time there. But, I felt confident about the seasonality behind this move. And with that, right now, I'm like, actually break even on it right now, like down a freaking penny per share. That's all. But, even if it drops a little bit today, I am very confident just about the trend, the pattern going into March time on this. That's all. So that's it.